usually is when we're replacing a circuit. Then we'll get the notice to raise. But usually when there is a change, it's usually because there's enhancements. Somebody will come up with, well, gee, I want the machine also to do this. So they add it on to it. Okay? And then that's the end of the first program. Okay? Now, the second one, the advanced menu, is you hit the right left arrow button at the same time, and it says enter code. Code is 1, 2, okay? It's not in the book. So remember. Okay? It's not going to be a problem. Okay? Label sensor to heel tip distance. Okay. What that is, here. Remember I was talking about the label sensor right here. Okay? And you've got the 3 bars right there. Okay? This is where I would actually change it at. If I measure from the plus sign on the label sensor to the edge of the heel tip, that's approximately 5 inches. Okay? If I take this and move it to the front too, like that, that's approximately 4.5 inches. Well, if I hit the B button, see where it's at now? Okay. That's because it added a 1/2 inch to it. Because it thinks that this heel tip is a 1/2 inch smaller than it actually is when it's on back tip. Okay? If I want to put that on the front too, then what I would do is I would come down here, hit enter, and 4, enter. I'm at 4.5 now. Kind of where it is. Okay? Without moving. Right. So, depending on which one I want to be put on, I always do back to it. Okay? But if you want it on the front too, you have to remember you have to change that to 4.5 instead of 5. Okay? Okay. So it doesn't make any difference which one you're at. Okay, except that, well, it does make a difference. You want to make sure that the break in between the 2 labels, and I'm talking about the web break right there, okay? You don't want this sensor to be right on that break, or won't see it right, okay? Which you would be, yeah, if you moved it up to the front too, you would almost be on that break, okay? So, you always want to try and, you know, as I say, or at least I try to do it on that too, okay? And one reason why that is there is because not all heel tips are 5 inches. I've done mine, and I had one gentleman tell me that he did one that was 25 inches long. So it all depends on what you're doing and what the size is. Okay, the standard is 5 inches. Okay. The next one is label repeat line. That's from the beginning of one label to the beginning of the next label. Okay? When I said here how you had to go here and set it, that does it automatically. Okay? Yeah. The only time that, and the only reason why that they show it there, and I've had this happen. I have a label to where it was a 6-inch long label, but it had a big cutout in the middle. Okay? And as the label would feed, the label sensor would come up, see the hole in the label, and go, wait a minute, I'm only 2 inches long instead of 6 inches. Well, no, it's 6. Well, I had to have some way to adjust it to make the machine think it's 6 inches. So I can manually go in there and change it by hitting my enter button, changing the number, enter. Now, no matter what happens, the label is 6 inches long until I recalibrate. If I would recalibrate, it would go back to the 2. Okay? Okay, the next one, label sensor set. Okay? That's for label sensor sensitivity.
And that one, it's all the
stars, the label, the whole thing. Okay? Here we're doing it automatic. Okay? Now, one thing there too is when you do the sensor sensitivity up there, where you do the increase, decrease, and increase. Okay? Whereas label and backing, and then just backing. Okay? You want to see a change of at least 2 stars. If you only see 1 star, the machine may not see that label because the machine is not that sensitive. Okay?
Usually, you want to put it in your check because one star is okay.
Yes. The more stars, the better going across. But when you go from seeing the label and backing, just seeing the backing, you should see a change of at least 2 stars. Okay. The only reason why that is there is there's been some labels that the machine didn't want to see, and Labeler put it in there so that we can change that setting if we need to. Label sensor edge. Am I seeing the beginning of the label or the trailing edge? You're always the leading edge. The only reason why we would do, say, a trailing edge, and again I got this where I had a customer that had a label that was in the shape of a triangle. Well, the point of the triangle is on the leading edge. It's too hard to see that point because it's so small. So what you do is you go to the trailing edge, which you got real wide. Now I'm looking through the feet length from the beginning of the label to the beginning of the next. So if I've got this big one in the back, that's all I need. So then I would set the trailing edge. Label detected. Yes or no. You have no control over that. If the green light on this sensor is on, it's seeing the label. If it's not on, there's a light. You look down there, you'll see a green light. Okay? That green light's on, it's seeing the label. Okay?
Is there a way that sensor, I'm sure that it's a ton of part of it, I'm sure it looks bad all the time. I mean, not all the time, but
it can. If you cannot afford to be down at all, or at least for 24 hours, then I would order the next one to stop. But if you can afford to be down for 24 hours without any problems, you don't need to stock it. You can always give us a call. We're trying to keep that stuff in stock. So if we have it, we'll send it out overnight to you.
so my question is, how often is that?
Not very often, depending on how you take care of it. If you get people where they're getting labels stuck in there all the time, and they're getting in their community with different types of solvents, we're willing to buy it. But as long as you're careful, it can last forever. Label stop position. That's just like in the first program. That's where the label stops. You have the edge of the field. The only reason why they have some of the settings in the first menu and they have them here too is so that you don't have to go back and forth between the 2 menus to change it. It's all in one menu. Okay? Labeling speed. Again, that's how fast the label speeds up. It's controlled by the controller, and you have to go to the area to adjust it.
Let's put on
slew speed. All that is if I peel off a label here, okay, the machine will automatically speed up as fast as it will go and try and get